When people run in circles, it's a very mad world. It's a very mad world.
Colin Wright, as chairman of the Youspire Group, is helping us as a business to think about the current situation as if it was in 4 seasons. We're in season 1 now, which has 12 more weeks to go. How do you manage in season 1? How do you adapt to the situation and create a better future? That's what we're going to be talking about today. And we're going to do so with 2 people who are business owners and they're consultants, but mainly they're both musicians. I'm delighted to welcome Tabitha Beaven and Sarah Weiler.
So what is level 1? What is level 1 creativity in your words?
So what I was observing is that we will have like a naturally playful in the moment state where we're not thinking about how it needs to look, how it needs to be. It might not even seem like a typically creative thing. Like I was using the example of my blog of like cleaning the kitchen and rearranging the furniture as feeling totally in the moment and joyful. And so I think often when we think about being creative, we go, I need to do art, I need to play the guitar, and I need to like write a poem. And I'm like, yes, sometimes can be creative. But I think level 1 creativity is being in a state where you feel totally at ease and in flow and in the moment, and you do not care about the outcome. It's not even on your mind. And you feel so much joy from being with that thing in the present moment. Now, what I said was level 2 creativity is when we look at someone in level 1, we might think, oh, I should be baking or I should be making music. That's why they're happy, because they're doing, I need to sign up for an art class. When I do my art class, I'll have that kind of happiness. It's like, no, it's how they were approaching it and being while they were doing that activity rather than the activity. So I think level 2 is maybe more of an attitude. The distinction between level 1 and level 2 is your attitude to it. Level 1 is, I'm just like in this, I don't really care. And level 2 is, there's a pressure, it's the shoulds, it has to be good, it's for someone else. It's like, and let's be honest, sometimes we need a bit of level 2 in order to take things to the next level. I'm not saying level 2 doesn't have a purpose, but in terms of it being nourishing and nurturing for us at this time, level 2 is stressful. Level 2 causes us to feel a lot of stress and pressure, which isn't nourishing. It's doing the opposite of what creativity should be. So that's why it's important.
That's awesome. Can I ask both of you then? Tabitha, you do an amazing thing called the Toulouse Choir. Mm-hmm. And how does that connect with level 1 and level 2 creativity? And then come back to Sarah and talk about all the things you do, like the power of the ukulele. Tabitha first.
So, and I think what I was picking up from that, as Sarah, as you were talking, in terms of what will be helpful to the listeners, is helping them recognise that actually we're probably all putting a lot of pressure on ourselves to use this time in a particular way, or to be creative, or do something more than get by, like survive the day. And actually, if we can give the message that we need to kind of recognise that pressure and give ourselves permission that actually this may not be your best-selling novel. And I think people are kind of getting that message, but that feels like it would be helpful by telling those stories and kind of having moved through that process for people to kind of give themselves permission.
So tell me about Toulouse Choir. What role could that play in helping us express ourselves?
So the stories that I hear from people in terms of the feedback that I get is that it's very much the in the moment activity that people feel good. There has never been any pressure with Toulouse Choir, and that's how it's different to other choirs, in the sense that it's not about being any good at singing. It's not about teaching singing. It's about having that freedom to kind of release and enjoy the moment. Obviously, it's slightly different now that they're essentially duetting with me from their front room rather than singing with 70, 80 other people. But then from a personal perspective, I guess I felt as though maybe I should take that to the next level and try to be doing more from a kind of a corporate perspective at this time. But as soon as I start thinking, it takes that pressure takes the joy out of it.
Congratulations, by the way, Tabitha, on winning the award for the most tuneless choir, which I heard.
Thank you.
I heard your BBC radio interview about that. It was pretty cool.
The amount of people or the amount you've done?
No, there was a video of us singing I Will Always Love You. So there was the most tuneless performance.
Oh, I see, the most tuneless.
Yeah. So
Tuneless.
when you get to that bit in Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You, and it's what joy is.
It's priceless.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so nice.
So Sarah, tell me about this. I don't play it, by the way. It's a ukulele. Tell me about
Is it worth this? Do you
the
want me to teach you something?
Yeah, well, why not?
Should we just do it quickly? I'm just going to share my screen. I think I can do that, can't I? And then we can.
Permission. Oh, well done.
I'm
Yeah.
so prepared, I know.
Loving
So
it.
I thought we could. Do you know Don't Stop Believing?
Yes.
Do you know what? This isn't a good one to do because I haven't got the chords on it. Well, let's do the second bit. The chorus. So, can you see the C chord?
Is it the bit where it says
top.
up and down the boulevard?
Yeah, on the
Well,
right-hand
just
side.
Is it on the bottom or the top? The bottom.
It's at the bottom and it says C to the right, yeah? And then it has and you're going to use your ring finger
Yeah.
and you're going to stick it there, and then the rest of you play it for me.
So is it?
So on, we've got 4 strings going left to right.
Yeah. Is it that? Is that G?
That's, oh yeah, brilliant. Oh no, let me hear. I think it is, but it's just not in tune with my G now.
Yeah, we said it's
I think
tuneless.
of a time before.
I'm tuneless.
Tuneless
Oh, well.
ukuleles.
So, I mean, I'm gonna see if you can do this, Mark, on your own. So, we basically do 4 C's, 4 G's, 4 A minors, and 4 F's, and that's our chorus of Don't Stop Believing.
So that's the C, is it?
Yeah.
And
And you
said
play
4.
all of the strings. You play all of the
Oh,
strings.
all of them.
Yeah. There we go. Lovely.
Was that the next one?
Oh, I think no. I know what's happening. You just need to move that shape down. I think that's why it sounded. The shape you're making is perfect. You just need to move it. Yeah, brilliant. Great.
So the first one was there.
And all of the strings, yeah.
And then, on all of them, yeah. So it's
Lovely.
Yes.
Ooh. Almost. I mean, it's
plucking and not strumming.
It's great. And then A minor. Can you do that one after that?
Okay.
Amazing. Yeah. And then we add the index finger to the A minor to create F. Amazing. So if you repeat that 4, 4, 4, 4, 4 C's, 4 G's, 4 A minors, 4 F's, you've got Don't Stop Believing.
Wow. Can you send me that? Because I'm going to practice and then.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, actually, if you go on my website, I've got a pop-up at the moment on the landing page, and
Yeah.
you can download the songbook.
Awesome.
I've just shoved in everything I've ever made. Some of it's a bit, as Tabitha knows, some of it's...
I loved your TED talk, by the way. Your TED talks
Oh,
on.
thanks so much. I'm going to stop
really
sharing this now. Ah,
Well done. That's fantastic. Because now, am I right in saying that's level 1 creativity? Just in the moment,
Ooh.
go for it.
do you know what? I feel like it depends how you felt about it. So for me, maybe, I think that felt level 1 for me. How did
Yeah.
it feel for you?
Yeah, well, by your definition of level 1, I was totally in the moment.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking we're on a Boostcast. I was just playing.
Yeah.
So that was awesome.
How do you feel after it? Because that's often telling.
That's a great question. I reckon I'm excited.
Mm.
I'm a bit anxious because I want to do it really well. So we're doing it live, and I was plucking, not strumming. And there's a perfectionist in me that says that's not good enough. You've got to work harder. But I think mainly it's joyful. I was just like, it was fun. It was like I couldn't believe I was making a half decent sound. Quite.
No, it sounded amazing.
And you obviously wanted to do it more because you've asked for
Yeah, there's an energy to do it.
Yeah.
So, Tabitha, you and I and Sarah were on Mad World, and we did a fantastic thing at lunchtime. There were hundreds of people, and tell us about what we did.
So we ran a flash mob So in the tea break, it was a case of surprising and delighting people, basically. So the organisers of Mad World recognised that singing is one of those things that is really great for mental health, and wanted some way of being able to kind of incorporate that into the talks and the workshops and stuff that were going on. So there was, so it was about 12 of us in the end, and we started appearing from different positions. I started off by singing Mad World to a microphone, and then everybody started joining in, and we had some balloons so people knew who was part of it. And then we morphed into the Feeling Good song, and
really
tried to get everybody else involved, and sort of taught parts, and brought people together through the power of song, which is very powerful.
I was lucky, Tabitha, because I was next to your dad and he's got a lovely voice, and I just sort of followed him.
He's great. I love roping my dad into the madcap ideas that come up.
So for our listeners then, what is your advice about trying to be in this kind of no pressure creativity level 1, where you're just yourself, you be? What's your advice?
One of the things that I tried, because I was feeling, we've got all of this time, there's so much pressure. I was feeling that pressure. And I thought, well, one of the things I need to do is stop the distractions from external sources, namely Facebook and WhatsApp, because I think a lot of what takes me out of any chance of being in level 1 is comparison, seeing what others are doing, seeing what other people have launched. And then that gets me stressed, and it puts me in level 2, like I should be creating these things. So I turned my phone off for a whole day. I didn't go on my computer. I called it Tech-Free Thursday. And from that, I just wanted to be, I was curious, like what will happen without the distractions when I can allow myself to let the moments unfold, and like let the day unfold moment by moment. And what I found is that I like read a book, I wrote a song, I baked a cake, I cleaned the kitchen, like all of this stuff happened. And I suppose what was interesting is that if I'd like tried to plan my perfect day, I wouldn't have said those things. But I'd had such a nourishing day that left me on such a high just by being in the moment. So I would say, like, whatever your main distraction is, whether that's your phone, whether that's like maybe needing time away from whoever's in your house, if that's possible, maybe it's I don't know, food, drinking, whatever it is that might like get in the way of you having that space. Because I do think we need to get bored in order to be in level 1 creativity. We need to go past, and I noticed on those Thursdays, because I'm trying to do it every week, not this week, but done it for like 3 weeks now. I noticed that I finished my coffee and I'm like going for my phone. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So I can't go for my phone. So what's here instead? And that's when the creativity comes out.
Brilliant.
So you have to create the space for it to come out.
Tabitha?
And I think one of the things that I've been reflecting on this week is I've made a conscious effort throughout this time period that I'm making a commitment to being more versus doing more. Recognizing that there is that pressure that you could try and do it all. And you can kind of feel that anxiety already built. But I think what I might have got slightly wrong, or what I'd like to explore differently, is I'm equating being just to not doing. But actually, I'm starting to recognize that actually being is more about doing the things that fill you up, and it's doing the things that make you feel alive. Because actually, I think when I've been trying not to do, and actually I feel probably a little bit more flat because of it. So one of the things that I want to explore a little bit more with is actually using that time to, it's hobbies. I mean, the kind of things that I've been doing is I've jet washed the decking. I'm waiting for the paint to come to do the fence. The house is cleaner than it ever has been. But I haven't necessarily kind of got to that sparking joy point, and recognizing that I'm an extrovert, and actually a lot of that for me comes from being with other people. So it's about finding what are some of the ways in which I can find that joy and those sparks whilst we're within this context.
It's interesting, on my walks I'm talking to everyone. As an extrovert, I'm talking to people I've never met before, and that's really cool actually, because most people want to talk.
Yeah.
Even people who aren't extroverts want to express themselves. So that's a real positive for me. Sarah, I'd love to come to you about quitting, because what triggered with me with Tabitha was this lovely thing about I need to stop trying to do things and just be, and that's a quit. Tell me a bit about quitting.
Yeah, so I've created a model called the quitting quadrant. I'm really interested in the process that we navigate when we want to quit something. And usually I think quitting has a really heavy association, especially in the UK. We feel a lot of shame around it. We feel the stories about I'm not good enough, I haven't tried hard enough, I need to make this work. And I think what I'm really interested in is how we can trust our intuition more, of maybe this, I've just got to let this go, and that's okay. And that if we can be okay with like things just have their time. A lovely analogy for this is I did a walk across Spain a few years ago with the Camino, and you meet people, and sometimes you meet people for 6 weeks, the whole time they're there. Sometimes you meet people for an hour, and there's a lovely letting go of those connections. You don't chase people, you don't try and make it last longer than it needs to. And I thought that was such a lovely analogy for how like our projects and things come in and out of our life. So I'm really interested in, when you're thinking you might want to quit something, what's really going on here? Like, and just to go zoom out and say, is this because it's got difficult, or is it because actually I just don't want to do it anymore? And in which case, how can I offset that? So in the quitting quadrant, there's these 4 healthy states that I believe people need to be in, which are flow, growth, grit, and restore. But then each of those can have like a negative thing if we stay in that for too long.
Love it. And thank you. I'm going to ask both of you to do something impromptu, which is play something or sing something as the way to close out this Boostcast. It'd be awesome to hear your voices or hear your uke, the power of your uke.
Babs, do you want to go first?
Oh, if you can give me something to play, so I mean, immediately I've got that kind of pressure of you have to do something creative.
Just be.
I wonder, Sarah, is there a like? Can we go round and around? So maybe you play, but Mark, you and I sing a line each of something.
Wow.
What?
I was
just going to do a little song about the Boostcast.
Oh, should we improv a song about the Boostcast?
Yeah, I reckon.
do it.
You gonna sing?
Okay, I was waiting for you. I was waiting for you to go first. But,
okay. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. No, you play an intro.
What is level 1? What is level 2 and 3? Creativity, gotta make the most of Corona. There's so much pressure, you see.
The pressure.
Just be joyful.
The pressure is getting to me. The pressure of creativity.
Take the pressure off and just give yourself a boost.
Lost in the moment, just get lost in your day.
We're here to give you a boost. The ideas are there for juicing.
In the most joyful way. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Level 1, level 2, level 3. Can you feel the pressure of creativity? It is really getting to me. Get lost in the moment, get lost in your day. Give yourself a boost with ideas that come your way. Creativity. Level 1, level 2, what's the level 3? Can you feel the pressure of creativity? Take it back to level 1, yes please.